What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor of Fightful.com here. It is November 13th. We have WWE Raw to talk about. This weekend, we have NXT and Survivor Series coverage, live post-show podcasts of both of those. Lots of news, lots of non-news to get to. Without further ado, I am joined by Alex Pawlowski. You can follow him on Twitter at Pawlowski4. Alex, how are you?
Doing all right. So the new era is in full effect. And I can't wait to delve into this stuff.
The new era looks a lot like the era that immediately followed the new generation era.
It does. It does. Oh, yay.
So Monday Night Raw tonight, there were a lot of rumors. People thought that Paige might show up. She didn't show up. Wouldn't shock me to see her pop up maybe tomorrow. Wouldn't shock me to see her pop up really anytime now. She seems a lot happier, a lot better off. I don't usually like to delve into personal relationships, but the Alberto El Patron thing has been turned into a storyline on Impact Wrestling. Like they're trying to make him Pillman 2.0 real hard.
Yeah, that's just bad judgment.
It sure is. It sure is. Is he Pillman 2.0? Maybe in real life, but
yeah, maybe.
It doesn't play well on the screen after all that. I wouldn't be shocked to see Paige come back at any moment. Last week, AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal. Did you see that one coming, Alex?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I kind of did when they were like, AJ Styles, you're going to face Rusev next week. Just kidding. You're facing Jinder Mahal. Like, well, plans changed, and they didn't change just so AJ would lose that match. Mm-hmm. So I'm totally down with it. I love that they're still making Jinder's trip to India important by having him be the babyface, almost certainly, yes, versus Triple H. That's pretty cool. And it gives us an actual dream match versus a match that would put us all to sleep.
Yeah.
So
also today, Jack Swagger, former world heavyweight champion in WWE, announced that he was signing with Bellator MMA. Now, if you all have listened to the Listen Your Boy podcast Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, you've heard me talk to Jack Swagger a little bit about this. And he wouldn't tell me, he wouldn't name the name of the company. But when I said, you signed with Bellator, didn't you? He was kind of like, what? Mm. Like one of those. I would be shocked if they didn't put him up against somebody with much less skill than many. They've done a much better job at booking their amateur wrestling talent than a lot of other people's have. They're Tyrell Fortune, Ed Ruth. There are people like that, but also Aaron Pico got beaten in his first fight. Your reaction to Jack Swagger hopping into the MMA game at 35. Now, I will say this. As a heavyweight, 35 isn't that bad. I mean, it sounds old for a heavyweight, but heavyweights skew a lot older.
Yeah, no, I'm not super surprised. I mean, he's got a pretty extensive amateur background before he was in WWE. There's a thing where he was talking about how I think somebody was posting this, that he had said that he was really upset because he felt like he was one of the toughest guys in the locker room, and he was jobbing out to dudes in 2 minutes on main event, and it was just pissing him off. So this is the absolute way for him to prove that, to show that he is a guy who can win a shoot fight. And you know what? More power to him. I hope young Jake Hager, wish him the best in his new career path.
So now we have WWE Raw to talk about. Throughout this show, Alex and I will also make our predictions for Survivor Series. Of course, myself, Anna Bauer, Jeff Hawkins will make those predictions on the SmackDown post show. You guys can head over to our forums at Fightful.com and make your predictions. The opening segment, Stephanie McMahon berating Kurt Angle. This while my star wide receiver for my fantasy football team is taking on my opponent's star quarterback. And I'm sitting here like, give me a reason to not change the channel. Just give me a reason to not change the channel. Stephanie berated Kurt Angle. I wanted to change the channel. She's about to fire him, but the Shield stops her. I just think this age of the heel authority figure is dead, Alex. It's been done so much. They did it so long that it's just bad. Also, I mean, we've seen this like it just doesn't work. If somebody did this in a real sports league, it would not work.
No, it wouldn't. I've been doing what has now become a tradition for me. I don't watch NXT every week. And then in the week and a half before the next takeover, I just go back and binge everything that I missed since the last takeover. And it's just amazing to me what a great general manager on screen William Regal is compared to the ones here. Like, there's no favoritism really being played. You best not muck around.
Yeah.
You better not be, whatever they're called. What is that? The Undisputed Era running amok in his locker room. He doesn't like that. But he's a straight shooter, and he makes matches that he feels will be good, and then that's it. You don't need to have him he doesn't have an ulterior motive to keep one guy down because he doesn't like him or play favorites with somebody else. And you absolutely buy him as being an authority figure. The rest of this stuff is just I did love that, she was just like, where have you been, Roman? Like, well,
yeah.
Like, was it
where the
not
hell have you been?
Like he was really sick? Like he almost,
I like that he fired back and said, where the hell have you been?
Well, that's true too. But
that was great. Roman owned this segment.
No, it's great. I love it. He's like, we do what we want to do. Which to me, I had just watched over on Halloween, The Addams Family, which has that great MC Hammer song. We do what we want to do, say what we want to say, play how they want to play. And I just wanted him to break into that. My favorite thing about all of this is her being like, what are you doing? The Shield? You lost the tag team championships to another team on my show that is also good, that now gets to represent me at Survivor Series, and because of this, I am angry. Like, I don't understand why she was pissed at the Shield for losing the tag belts to Sheamus and Cesaro. Like, it's not like they lost them to somebody on SmackDown, whatever. This whole thing was yes, as you said, Roman kind of saved it. Yeah, and we now get which is probably the match that I'm honestly looking forward to the most, is the Shield versus the New Day. Like, that's great. And by the way, Big E is finally doing it. Finally, somebody's coming out and saying, we absolutely accept your challenge. However, you must remove all padded vests because that gives you an advantage. And I want that to be the in-canon reason why they have to change their ring gear, because it's very 2013.
We'll go ahead and make our predictions for this. I've got the Shield, and that is the fact that it's a foregone conclusion upsets me, but they're going to tear the house down on Sunday.
It's going to be so great. I want them to make the stipulation that it's an elimination match, but they probably won't. Give these guys 40 minutes. Like, it's going to be so great. The New Day, especially now that Xavier Woods is low key one of the best performers on the entire roster. They're great, and they have been for years now. And the only trio that could possibly match them is the Shield. So we get to have that both these teams at full strength at Survivor Series. It's a huge match. I cannot wait for it. And yes, I agree. The Shield is absolutely going to win. Roman's going to spear somebody out of their boots, and they're going to win. But the destination isn't the important part. The important part is the journey. And I can't wait to see how we go to the first bell to the final bell. It's going to be amazing.
I want to know the journey that Mickie James goes on when she contacts her seamstress and says, you know what? I don't really have a design for you. Just do whatever will piss Sean Ross Sapp off the most.
Yep. Yeah. She likes flappiness in the pant region. It's not good. It's not
I'll let
good.
People interpret that however they want to. She needs to stop doing the flying Fez press and start doing a seated senton. It looks bad.
Yeah.
Her neck breaker didn't look bad, though, on Bayley. That was really, really good. And then there was this weird double face crusher that looked really good between her and Dana Brooke. This was a Survivor Series qualifier, by the way. Bayley, Mickie James, Dana Brooke. Bayley got the win. I want to know how you feel about this, because what I didn't have a problem with was Emma, whether she got released or not, having a competitive match with Asuka. Don't care. Don't mind it. Doesn't bother me. Maybe what I do have a problem with is like there are people that called Emma a jobber. Yeah. There's no other way to construe Dana Brooke.
No.
She ain't been in title matches. She hasn't been on like in big matches at all. She hasn't been beating former champions. She doesn't win. And she kind of challenged Asuka briefly. Then she ran off. And she got her ass kicked real proper. Yeah. But what'd you think about that?
Well, yeah. I don't. This confirms to me that they want to wait a while before inserting Asuka into the main event of the women's scene, because after Survivor Series, she'll be beating the hell out of Dana Brooke for a few weeks.
I just want to say, I review my show notes as I go through this podcast, and I release them for the public to see at like 6 a.m. the following morning. So look out on Fightful.com for that. As I do this, I see typos that I make. I meant to put Asuka tried to help Dana Brooke, but killed her after getting popped in the face. But instead I put Asuka tried to help Dana Brooke, but killed her after getting pooped in the face.
That's funny. Poop is funny.
You know, maybe all the crappy humor, pun intended.
Yeah.
Maybe it is targeted to the right demographic.
It could be. I'm all for Asuka kicking the block off of Dana Brooke. But as I'm watching all of these NXT episodes, I'm going, man, Dana Brooke in NXT would be like 8th on the totem pole.
Oh yeah.
She's nowhere near the top of NXT, and she's on Raw. So Billie Kay and Peyton Royce should be up on Raw right now as a tandem act.
Peyton Royce, man, she is. I talked to a friend at the Performance Center. She is well liked there these days. Like really, really adored at that Performance Center. Good. So good for her. I'm very much looking forward to that. We will talk about the NXT Takeover show on tomorrow night's SmackDown podcast. Bayley DeBelly wins it. After seeing this, I determined I really want to see an extended Bayley Mickie James match, because both of these girls were on top of their games. Really liked it. Good stuff. What do you think of Bayley being the 5th woman instead of maybe a woman who is rumored to return tonight in Paige? Not saying that she couldn't still be involved somehow. Right. I have no information to indicate that one way or another, but you know.
Bayley should be on there versus, instead of Mickie James or Dana Brooke, those are your 2 options. I would say, yes, put Bayley on there. I think Paige should be on SmackDown. Like, Raw is kind of stacked with people to do stuff. So Paige should be on SmackDown where there's more wiggle room for her to be near the top. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Charlotte beat Natalya tomorrow, if Becky swerved and didn't put Natty on the team in Charlotte's place, but instead put Paige on the team.
There you go.
Which then allows Natty to feel snubbed, and she either A, gets Paige eliminated, or B, costs Charlotte the match versus Alexa Bliss, and then you can spin off a secondary women's story on SmackDown from there. So yeah, I prefer Bayley be involved in this match because she was a big part of it last year, and I just really love what Bayley does in the ring, and I wouldn't want her off of Survivor Series.
One of the things I like about this is they put the woman who perhaps most needed it in the captain spot to give her a little bit of something. Who do you think wins this match, this women's Survivor Series match? I'm going Team Raw. I don't think Asuka loses even by count out.
No. I think Asuka wins it. I think I would love for her to be like 3-on-1 and just run through the last 3 herself. I think that'd be great to really give her a real coming out party on the main roster, and really show what she's able to do. She absolutely cannot be pinned or submitted. It's possible they might figure out a way of having her lose by count out by, I don't know, getting just having Dana Brooke interfere or something and her lose her mind and go chase Dana Brooke through the entire arena. But I wouldn't like that either. So yeah,
guys in the live chat, hit us up with your predictions as well as we make ours. I want to hear it. Enzo Amore and Drew Gulak defeated Akira Tozawa and Kalisto. Gulak and Enzo are a great pair. I love that Gulak started to say, "We've got a lot to cover here," and then got cut. That was really good. 10 front drop kicks is not the match for me, as you all can guess, but there are a couple of nice suicide dives, which I ironically think should be done less often. Enzo took a really good bump on the mat or on the floor outside off of this.
Yeah.
He wins, and he has mastered the art of making other people look like $1 million while he wins. Everybody stays over a little bit. Enzo getting crafty wins is, I think, the right move for his type of push. What'd you think of the cruiserweight tag match?
Drew Gulak, like everybody out there, raise your hand if you had in January Drew Gulak winding up as being one of the most interesting acts in the entire WWE by this point. I mean, he's been so great. Like the idea of he goes like, bring this guy in the room. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Like he's actually answering Enzo Amore's opening lines. He's so good at being this guy. And when he's been on commentary a few times on 205 Live, and he's really good as a heel color guy. He absolutely has a future in this business in that way. Maybe not with WWE to start, but he's really, really good. And I love everything that he does. This match was no exception. And you're right. Enzo's won me over as being this character on 205 Live. You know, this is the thing. He makes everybody look great as he somehow cheats to win. And that's great. It's very good.
He's a guy they could have easily kept as a baby face to get that cheap run out there and do the thing. I like to run out there and get that same old pop, the New Age Outlaws pop, but only the New Age Outlaws had a little more creatively to do than as baby faces, heels, whatever the hell. I digress. They switch it up. He's really embraced it. He makes it work. It's really great. Ain't no way in hell Kalisto wins this title Sunday. Am I right?
No, not a chance. Also, I will say, apparently they did a nod to this at the very beginning during their entrance, but the whole match should have been built around the fact that you have one guy on one side who's anti-chants, and the other two guys on the other team have two chants that merge perfectly. Luch, Luch,
yes,
Luch,
yes.
That should have been the entire match. Should have been them doing that to antagonize Drew Gulak.
I think Akira got in the ring and he realized how goddamn dorky that Lucha chant is, and he was like, I don't want none of this. Mine's over. Yours isn't. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Kalisto looks like he's trying to climb an invisible rope every single time he does that. And he ain't never going nowhere with it. That is such a terrible dorky thing.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's backstage, books all his homies. Then Braun says that he wants Kane. And Kurt makes it happen. And then Braun says, it's true. It's damn true. I am telling you, we are about a month away from, I won the Royal Rumble for all of you, the WWE Universe. You all
So
always
true.
have a special place in my heart.
They're totally gonna ruin him. I can't wait to hate this guy.
The thing is, they'll
ruined him.
They'll ruin him, but there will be some comedy in him really, really trying to be that underdog baby face.
Oh man.
I know I turned over an ambulance, but Roman Reigns, that's a real uphill battle. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, this is the one thing that I do the whole Shield versus New Day thing is amazing. I love it. It would have been a great moment for Roman Reigns and Braun to have to work together in the 5-on-5 elimination match. You know what I mean? Like do something where one sets up the other guy for something, and then they could both be the sole survivors, and at the end, Braun just destroys Roman.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not finished with you, even though we won the match. The one time of the year where Raw takes on SmackDown Live, the one time that they fight. I hate that tagline so much.
Oh, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Backstage, I just want to put over Charlie Caruso. Great commanding voice for her role. Alexa Bliss says that she usually just DVRs SmackDown, but she might go to the title match tomorrow night. How do you think that plays out? Does she play a role in the finish of Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss, or Charlotte versus Natalya?
I think she tries to, but it doesn't. I mean, I think Charlotte wins that match and she wins it clean, because it's stupid to not have Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss. Those are your top two champions of the past year. You need to use them in that way. I don't know of anyone who's like super into Natty. You know what I mean? Like it's just I just don't. But
I think she's a great person to have on the roster. But right now in this spot, Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss is the match, in my opinion, and it could be even more of the match had they booked it a little bit better. But I think that Charlotte wins tomorrow, and I think Charlotte wins on Sunday too. What do you say?
Oh yeah, Charlotte versus Alexa. I mean, unless they do something where Natty interferes and costs Charlotte the match or whatever against Alexa, I would say, I would say you gotta give it to Charlotte. I mean, but you could absolutely convince me of. You could say Alexa, we're gonna have Alexa beat Charlotte because we're planning on having them fight again at Mania or something. You know what I mean? Like you would like to extend that because Alexa Bliss always finds a way to sneak in that DDT in a match. I'd be down with that. But I would if it comes down to Alexa versus Natty, woof, but Alexa wins, no problem. But if it is Alexa versus Charlotte, I got Charlotte in that.
When was the last SmackDown pay-per-view?
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. They've done a good job at adding stuff to SmackDowns to make each one have some sort of implication, and I really appreciate that, and I really like that. Because when you add something like that to a 2-hour show,
right,
that magnifies the program because you're tuning in for 2 hours, no big deal. I always see people talk about the casuals and the casuals and the casuals. Raw's 3 hours.
Yeah.
You think the casuals are going to show up and invest 5 hours over 2 nights? That ain't happening, my man. That is just not going down. You can embrace this hardcore audience that is spending money, that is there.
Right.
Embrace them, do things that make them happy, keep them happy. I mean, not everything. Obviously, you got to play them a little bit. You got to work them a little bit. And I think my thing is I think the hardcore audience will reflect the casual audience because, I mean, they're all humans.
Yeah.
It's not like I just think there are ways that this could be done a little bit more, and I love the way that SmackDown does it. Jason Jordan defeated Bray Wyatt. Most of this match happened during the commercial break, so it seemed. Did Wyatt look like he had gained a lot of weight to you?
It's possible. I don't know how much exercise he was able to do when he was down with the sick.
On the contrary, Roman Reigns looked like he lost a bunch of weight.
Right, and he may have been puking his guts out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this stuff affects each guy. The thing about this was
never had a mumps outbreak at Fightful.com.
No,
not yet.
We are mumps free. But the Bray Wyatt thing was an interesting subplot of this whole episode. The idea of Jason Jordan, you are going to face Bray Wyatt, the most sadistic guy on the roster. And we'll never, ever speak of that thing that we were going to do where he was going to play his sister. Because they didn't bring that up once. Like Finn Balor is standing right there. They never talked about that. Like that was, we're never going to speak of it again, which I'm all for, but it is kind of weird that they were totally just pushing the hell out of that thing. And they were like, nope, that never happened. Also, what apparently never happened was we've forgotten that Bray Wyatt was him and Randy Orton were the sole survivors of SmackDown defeating Roman Reigns last year at Survivor Series. And Bray Wyatt, because of the way they booked him this whole year, even though he was at one point somehow WWE champion, can't even sniff a spot on the Survivor Series roster for Raw. You know what I mean? How far he has fallen from being the guy who basically won it for SmackDown after an amazing match last year at Survivor Series to like, yep, no, we will not be having that happen this year. Too bad, because like it's just the way that they booked him was just so bad.
So David Tease, our lead MMA writer, he does a lot of coverage for us, hits me up and says, Survivor Series is like 6 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, really?
Yeah, so it's a 2-hour pre-show, 4-hour show.
So they're adding some stuff to this. They got to add some stuff to it.
Well, here's the deal. 1 hour, one solid hour is that 5-on-5 men's elimination match.
That's a good 50-minute match, and then you get the entrance and all that.
Solid hour.
Yeah.
I think that the Usos and the Bar, those guys could go for 20 minutes, no problem, and it'd be great. The New Day and the Shield, that's 25 without a hitch, easily. So you have matches that are going to be extended and long matches. The other ones, I mean, I'm not sure how long Brock's gonna toy with AJ. You know what I mean? Like, well, that could be a lot of fun, but I don't know.
Here's something I want to mention right now: Bray Wyatt, Kane may be written off. We don't know. Jason Jordan, who is injured.
Right.
Matt Hardy hasn't been on TV. Elias has been on and off TV. Jinder Mahal, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Rusev, not on this show. I would love to see them throw like a bunch of people in like a 10-on-10 elimination and have a Jinder eliminate like 4 people.
Sure.
Have this, if you want to push the guy.
Yeah.
If you want to push the guy, have last week's situation be the catalyst for him to revamp things, like something. Just find a way to get these guys on the show. Also, in this match, Jordan hit some stuff real hard, barricades, ring posts.
Yep.
He goes at it crazy. He gets the win out of nowhere. Bray kicks his ass and attacks the leg. Backstage, Angle doesn't think Jordan will be ready for Sunday. Jordan does a great job pleading for him. We will get to that momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you think of the news last week that emerged of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being sent home from the European tour. Referenced in tweets to Kevin Owens from Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be back this week.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the match, and nothing in what I saw in the match was something that shouldn't have happened. Based on my limited experience in the ring, like I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like this isn't adding up. And when I inquired within, I was told they goofed off. That was the exact phrase I was given. Goofed off.
The thing that I read was that they didn't feed for New Day at the end of the match, which, like,
you don't run back in there in that situation.
I don't know. Like, that's bad storytelling. I mean, like, maybe that was what they were told to do, but I trust Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's instincts.
If they were told to do that, if they were told to do that after they had already done what they had, like, that, it didn't make sense. So I wouldn't have blamed them. But I mean, a little fishy to me.
Yeah, but I hope the whole thing's a giant work.
Mm-hmm.
And they take this part of the discipline that they're being given. They feel like they're being treated unfairly. They're the only guys who see Shane McMahon for what he is, which is this power-hungry little brat. You know what I mean? And I think it'd be really great if they cost SmackDown the big match.
I mean, Shane McMahon has proven himself to be a giant dick over the last several weeks.
Yeah.
I've often spoke about, there was a storyline in, I think, 2010 TNA that I adored. And it had, like, Samoa Joe, Sting, the Pope, Kevin Nash. And they all seemed like crybaby, like, asshole heels. And they were bitching about Hogan and Bischoff for weeks and months and months and months, saying, guys, you all got to watch out for them. They're skeevy. They're up to something. And they looked like heels for months. Then Bischoff and Hogan did this big heel reveal turn, and those guys were the baby faces. I thought it was maybe I don't remember it as greatly detailed as I'd like, and maybe I'm romanticizing it, but the idea of it was fantastic. And I think that could kind of be this thing, but I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are good enough to be proven right and still be heels. Be heels even more because they were proven right.
Yeah, they've done a great job of making this whole deal about Shane McMahon versus Stephanie McMahon and making sure I don't really like either of them.
Yeah.
So, yay, I don't have anybody to root for. That's great. Good job. But yeah, I think my major prediction will be there's no way you can keep Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Maybe it's a disciplinary measure, but not according to the storyline. You can't keep them off of Survivor Series in total. They're going to come in and cost somebody a match. I think they should wreak havoc and cost SmackDown as many matches as possible just to stick it to Shane McMahon. And then they wind up on Raw in December. That's fine with me. You know, like it's just I love these guys are so good together as best friends. I just want them to run over everything.
Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are out. Heyman does the Heyman pay-per-view sell. He's really good at it. Puts over AJ Styles, gets a cheap Georgia pop, talks about how AJ's speed kills. A guy in the crowd proposes that gets she said yes chance, and Paul Heyman destroys the poor guy. I heard they got kicked out. I haven't been able to verify that. That's a little too much.
What I heard was that somebody who was there was like, this is my best friend. He didn't get kicked out. They were asked to come back because somebody wanted to talk to them about getting their story or something.
Ah, okay.
So I feel like this is prime, like Kathy Kelly video, 2-minute video, like,
oh yeah,
blah blah blah, and they chose us because we're so great to be proposed to. That wasn't great timing.
Do you think they'll have to change their Bullet Club shirts?
Maybe that was it. I mean, but the whole thing, we don't know. Like, it's possible the guy was really nervous and had the ring box in his hand and dropped it, and she picked it up, and he was like, "Oh crap, it's now or never." You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what happened to make him have that thing happen right then, but that was a stupid time to do it right in the middle of Paul Heyman promo.
Yeah,
and
man.
Lit into
I'll just say this: Jason Jordan ain't doing that to you. Not tonight.
Nope.
As if he needed something to conjure up more real tears.
Yeah.
Lesnar versus AJ Styles. I got Lesnar here. I don't think there's any way AJ beats him, especially after losing to Finn Balor so recently.
Right, that's the deals. They also talk like, you want to cite somebody who has momentum, who's on an amazing hot streak, except for that one match that he lost to Finn Balor, and then Finn Balor lost the next night to Kane. But it's WWE booking. You can't. Nobody can have that much of a hot streak, unless you're Asuka. But I will say, there's no one in the world can do what Paul Heyman does, which is spend the entire time convincing me that AJ Styles is going to beat Brock Lesnar, and then say, however, he's not going to beat AJ Styles is not going to beat Brock Lesnar. And I go, yeah, you're right on both counts. And no, he's not, because they got to keep Brock as strong as possible. So when they feed him to the big dog in New Orleans, it means something. But I do think that AJ Styles will make this match just amazing. Think about AJ Styles bumping for a Brock Lesnar German suplex. Think about him bumping 6 different ways for 6 straight German suplexes.
That's the good thing about AJ Styles is that really he has embraced so much in his WWE run, and he did it before, but I think that he has discovered like almost the secret to having, and I don't think he had great matches this summer, but to have different matches.
Right. And
it's him selling just a different little way. It's something that Kenny Omega is also really, really good at.
Yeah.
The Shield defeated Miz, Cesaro, Sheamus. I don't like that Ambrose brought back that silly ass drop kick he used to do. Worse than any Finn Balor drop kick, I will say. Roman Reigns' clotheslines are in the corner are not much better. Reigns sets up a boot and a Samoan drop really well, though. He bounces off the middle rope, boots, I think it was Sheamus in the head, and then hits him with a Samoan drop. That's really cool. Ambrose with a well-placed suicide dive. there was a really great sequence of a flip out of a neutralizer where Roman Reigns goes to backdrop Cesaro. Cesaro hits the ropes, goes for his Superman uppercut, and gets Superman punched. That was really, really awesome. Shield with a triple power bomb. What'd you think of the match? The Shield reunion match.
Yeah, on a Raw, a go home Raw. This was the match we were supposed to have at TLC before the mumps and rampant overbooking gave us instead Braun in the back of a garbage truck and Kurt Angle coming out of nowhere to Olympic slam dudes through tables. Not that I'm complaining, because that match was a lot of fun, but it was supposed to be originally the Shield versus these three dudes, and we finally got it on Raw, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. All those things you mentioned were great. My favorite part of the match was when Booker T called Roman Reigns one mean Samoan, which is not what he is. He is not a Samoan.
Hey, maybe he is. Maybe he is. Investigative journalist here remembers back in the paparazzi production days. Do you remember them in TNA?
Yeah.
Alex Shelley. When Alex Shelley was teaching Kevin Nash how to be an X Division wrestler, he brought in two people for Kevin Nash to wrestle. One of those men's name was Samoan Joe. If you go back and look.
Right. Yes.
Samoan Joe.
Yeah,
this could have been a young Roman Reigns.
It's possible. It's possible.
It could have been.
Because, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. That was great. I just love that nobody called him on it. I just imagine just Corey Graves hitting his mute button and corpsing on the commentary desk. That was great. And
he is a Samoan, and he is from the Sims game. Does he have to type in the Rosebud cheat every time he does a Superman punch?
He should.
OG Sim players will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Fun story about the Sims. I was like maybe 14 or 15. I'm playing the game in my room. My mom walks by and she goes, "What's this?" I was like, "That's the Sims." "What do you do on it?" "Well, you build stuff and then you take out the trash and all that." She's like, "You don't do that shit in real life." And I never played the game again. I never played the game again.
Well, you see, I create this fake version of myself and walk around and have conversations, and I eat breakfast, and I sit and I watch TV, and I take out the trash.
And they take shits. They take shits.
Yeah. No, this was all wonderful. I do. In spite of myself, I love all the stuff that the Shield does in the ring. It's a lot of fun. They're hearkening back to nostalgia of 3.5 years ago. But I do want them to have a new look. It feels very much like, remember this thing we used to do that you love? We're going to do that exact same thing now.
Yeah.
That just reeks of kind of desperation. There's no real creative.
Yeah, switch it up, man.
So I would love for them to get a new look to it. But other than that, I do like what they do in the ring.
Kurt Angle comes out. Now, I had a lot of people hit me up on Twitter. Is this where Goldberg shows up? Nope. WWE wanted him tonight. They did want him tonight. I know they reached out. Apparently, it couldn't work out. It was in Georgia, and his 24 releases this evening. Mm-hmm. It's on right now. Don't stop watching our show to watch it, though. Jason Jordan comes out and conjured up some real tears.
Painful.
I loved it. Painful. I thought it was great, but here's the thing. I don't know if I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't know why I felt bad for him. I don't know if I felt bad for his character, or I don't know if I felt bad because he had to say some of the stuff that he said. Mm-hmm. But it tiptoed that fine line to the point where I'm not trying to be a smartass right here. I really don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if them making him go out and say, "You're going to make me miss the one time of the year where Raw and SmackDown meet," because that contributed to it. Yeah. I felt those tears. And I feel like that's what conjured those tears. He wasn't going to cry unless they made him say that line. So it's a catch-22, Alex. He couldn't do it. He couldn't bring it.
Yeah. They were like,
he's like, "Don't do this, Dad."
Because really, no, seriously, he always has called him Kurt. And I feel like this might have been the first time on air we've heard him call Kurt Dad.
Do you think backstage Vince fancied this as the time where Triple H was like, I love you, Pops?
Oh, man. When he comes out. And
please, Pops. Not during the one time of the year where SmackDown
But the best part of it was his one sad little knee pad pulled down to his ankle.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Dad, please, the one time of the year where Raw and SmackDown meet and go face to face. Also, the one time where I would get to fight alongside you, Dad.
God, please. Kurt should have been like, son, you straighten up, or I'm going to bust your ass in this ring in front of all these people.
Listen, I didn't feel bad for Jason Jordan, the character. I felt horrible for Jason Jordan, the guy who has to go out there. Like, no, but we lost.
He's a man. He's a grown man. He's like 30.
No, here's the thing, is that I still feel bad for the guy who's like, they came to him and they said, we're going to make you a star, kid. You're going to be Kurt Angle's son. It's going to be this great angle, and everyone's going to love you because you're going to be this. And then now, a few months later, he gets beat down after he beats Bray Wyatt clean. Bray Wyatt takes him out, and the crowd thank you, Wyatt. And nah, hey, goodbye. Like, that can't feel good as the person who's playing that part, unless they want you to feel that way about him, which I still haven't decided yet. I thought they were going to turn him heel when he came down and was like that. And like when Kurt Angle takes him off the team, he's going to turn heel on Kurt, and he'll have a valid reason for it, but we're still going to hate him. And then, time to play the game. I'm like, oh crap. Now I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, because when Triple H comes out, shovel in hand, and buries this kid.
Nathan Everhart, 35-0 one season, ranked as high as number 2 in the nation.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Nathan. Today you are Jason Jordan. You are crying, and you are getting pedigreed by a 50-year-old man. That's how it's going down.
I mean, like, now I guess am I supposed to feel sorry for him? Because I do, but the whole thing is I always feel like they want me to feel a certain way about everything. And that dictates how they write everything. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I guess I'm supposed to. This is a last-ditch effort to make me care about Jason Jordan's feelings. But I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not intrigued by Triple H being the answer to John Cena and the 5th member of the Raw team.
Who wins this 5-on-5 match? I got to go with Raw. When you got Triple H, you got Angle. They're going to protect Angle. You got Braun Strowman.
Yeah, they're going to protect. They're going to protect Triple H. They're going to protect Angle.
Good way to get Triple H one of those TV wins.
Yeah. Before
Rumble WrestleMania season.
I hope he's not the sole survivor. That would be just shitty on every level. He needs to be eliminated, but it should be a very eventful thing that happens. I'm assuming they'll give it to Shane, or they'll give it to Cena. I mean, like, there are people on the SmackDown side where I'm like, who's Bobby Roode eliminating? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've completely lost all interest in that guy since he's been on SmackDown. It's just amazing to me he's even on this team. But yeah,
I just want to bring up, I didn't mention the Miz segment. It was a very pointless segment. But he's facing Baron Corbin Sunday. Or Sin Cara. Sin Cara just signed a new deal. He's got a Reebok deal. Mm-hmm. He's in a United States title program.
Yeah.
It's good to be Sin Cara the last few weeks, yeah?
Yeah, it is. That's interesting. Except for that one, what looked to be horrific knee injury, but apparently was nothing.
Yeah.
So he's rubber man too. Good for you. I believe also Raw will win the that's the whole thing, is I don't feel like both the women and the men from one brand are going to win the elimination matches. So SmackDown's got to win one of them, and I feel like it's more likely. Gosh, it's more likely that to me that you have Sammy and Kevin cost SmackDown that match, then somehow it is more likely that Asuka run through everybody and not get pinned. So,
well, I think Charlotte's winning. I think Baron Corbin's winning because Miz can get beat by anybody. He's bulletproof.
Oh yeah.
Usos are winning, so you got 3 SmackDown wins right there.
It's possible that they win every other match besides the Brock AJ one.
Well, you got the Shield, matches. New Day. Shield's winning that. You got the two 5-on-5s, and then Styles Lesnar. Now they could add an additional match, a 5-on-5 match. They've got enough people to do it. They've plenty. Right. Throw Matt Hardy's your go-to. Throw him on there on the Raw side. On the other side, you got Rusev and Jinder and KO and Zayn and all this. And SmackDown could win that, and even KO and Zayn could say, look, we won ours.
Yeah.
We did that. Like, there are ways to go about that. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe defeated the Good Brothers. This was the longest way possible to tell the story that Balor could trust Samoa Joe. The crowd wants to like Joe really badly, and at least it seems briefly they're allowing that to be played out in Joe's own unique way, which I really appreciate them doing. The chemistry, I thought, was off the charts for these two teams for it being a standard paint-by-numbers WWE tag match.
Yep.
They worked really, really well together. Obviously, Joe and Balor got the win. Ordinary man, extraordinary shit. I am so sick of hearing that. I'm sure you are too.
I mean, Michael Cole is he's shoehorning it in places where it so doesn't belong that he can't finish
it. Can't just slide that in though.
That he can't just finish it. Like he was like Finn Balor, ordinary man, and he does extraordinary. Oh. Because before he could finish the catchphrase, Anderson hit him with a spine buster. Like that's how quickly, like you have to like get it in there quick. Get your shit in there, Mike. Because if you don't, you're not gonna make the boss happy. They never once mentioned that Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, before they feuded in NXT, were the inaugural champions of the Dusty Classic. So these guys have worked together as a tag team. It'd be kind of cool and, I don't know, relevant to mention that kind of stuff. But as somebody said to me when I tweeted that, Vince doesn't care about what happened in NXT. And that person is right. So.
A fine match. I really enjoyed it. Then Braun Strowman killed Kane to abruptly end this WWE Raw show. They fought outside. Braun took a hilarious bump into the stairs, like just leaned over, like he had to pick something up, and like ran his fingertips into the stairs, and the stairs flew.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Then he power slams Kane through the ring.
Yep.
Is this the last we see of Kane?
No.
Is this the last we see of Kane in 2017?
No. He's I firmly believe this. He's coming back at the pay-per-view to cost Braun and get Braun eliminated from that match. Because there's nobody on the SmackDown side who's taken out Braun. It's just not happening. So Kane gets that done.
The typical stupid monster gets counted out type of deal.
Right, exactly. That's the way it happens, and they can't get away from it. It happened to Braun last year.
Happened to The Undertaker in 1990, and they've been doing it ever since.
So this was a lot of fun. Braun made his entrance at 10:03. So they didn't leave these guys for a lot of time. But yeah, I do love Braun just beating the crap out of Kane while going, "You stuffed me in a garbage truck." I'm like, yes, Braun, we all remember that. It was 2 weeks ago. It was awesome. You keep reminding us though, because it's a funny visual.
Is.
I thought this was fun. It was great. This was really smart of the way they did this. All of the action happened out of the ring until they got back into the ring, and the one move that was done on the mat was the power slam that went through it.
That's all you need.
Yeah, it was great
for this.
Yep, absolutely. You move on, and Braun looks super strong, and Kane gets to be resurrected from hell. on his way to becoming the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
It's so weird to think we are so close to the Royal Rumble. We are so close to WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, it's weird because of the way they've laid out Survivor Series, nothing that happens on Sunday, potentially, will have any bearing on anything that happens after it. Like, I mean, it probably will. They'll do some stuff, but as they've told the story, this is all about brand supremacy for one night only. But
yeah,
I mean, guys, in the elimination match, somebody's going to turn on somebody. Somebody will have interference. You know what I mean? It could easily something could easily lead to an Angle versus Shane match or a Triple H versus Shane match at WrestleMania. But you know, it's kind of odd that like come Monday they got to start a whole brand new build for 2 months going into the Rumble. You know, like that's a whole different thing. And you know, we'll see where that goes. But I want some of these storylines that they've been playing with for a few months to continue toward the Rumble and beyond. I see no reason why Braun has to be a true babyface who talks about how much he loves the crowd. He should still be not finished with Roman Reigns. Like that should be a thing that never ever goes away.
I like this time of year. I love the build up to Rumble. I love the Rumble, even though some of the winners of late, like there have been repeat winners and just people who shouldn't have won. And yeah,
well, yeah. The thing about the Rumble is, to me, then it becomes like this thing of the speculation of who's going to have the title and who's going to get the title shot. So if we all totally on board with this thing everyone thinks is going to happen, Roman's going to face Brock and win the title from him. Either Roman has to win the Rumble again to get his shot at the Universal title, or whoever has the title for SmackDown is, you know, this is going to be a SmackDown guy who wins it. You know, like, and it becomes this thing of finding out how you can predict who's going to go where. But
we will have a slew of Royal Rumble features ahead. I've got the piece I'm going to retouch about that things I would change about the Royal Rumble that will come up. I'm going to do the Rumble Retro again this year. I will repost those, and I've got to go back and watch the 2017 Rumble because I was there and I couldn't live tweet it there, but I'll go back and do that. Those will be out. We're going to have Royal Rumble stat pieces, all kinds of stuff leading up to that. And, of course, a bunch of stuff leading up to WrestleMania as well. But Survivor Series this week. You got Thanksgiving next week. And usually that does, like, people are like, oh, not a big deal. It's probably a quiet week. No, not since I've covered stuff. 2014, CM Punk talks for the first time since being released. 2015, John Jones the week after, he speaks out for the first time since he was in a car accident that pretty much derailed his career. Last year, the week after Thanksgiving, or within a week of Thanksgiving, John Jones speaks out again after he screwed up his career. This year, I tweeted that I expect Bo Dallas to reveal that lizard people injected him with the mumps.
Yeah, you tweeted that, and I had to go back into Fightful because I miss a lot of stuff now that I'm really full-time dad. Like, did he actually say it on a podcast? Because I honestly would not put it past him to say that he was injected by the lizard person.
I watched his ride-along, and he brought up lizard people.
Of course he did. He's all about that life, man. He's not
Curtis Axel's banter is great. He's like, yeah, you're pretty educated about that, huh? Like, it has to be a rib on Curtis Axel that they keep putting him on stuff with the weirdest people. Because like he had the Madden tournament with Brian Kendrick, and Brian Kendrick's like, you like hot sauce? Are you a hot sauce guy?
Brian Kendrick's also one of those little people guys. So like he believes that the moon is hollow and was towed there by aliens, and inside is a space station they used to spy on us.
Well, rather be towed than fingered, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you see the Bailey and Sasha ride along with the guest appearance by Neville?
Yes.
Where Neville, like, that was the night
that his last appearance would be him saying F right along.
Yes, because that was the night that he lost the title to Enzo. And like that was right afterwards. They were going like, "Hey, great job tonight," and he was feeling like, "Really, really great job. I've been busting my ass for a year for this company, like carrying the cruiserweight."
Well, he likes Enzo, from what I understand, but apparently
time,
there are talks. Per a report, which I am hoping to follow up on this evening. Actually, it's going to be a late night for your boy. Also, guys, we did a UFC Norfolk post show last Saturday, and that was a really good show. Great knockouts, great finishes, and lots of MMA news. Conor McGregor went nuts at a Bellator event, no less.
That was ridiculous.
Shoved a referee.
That was ridiculous.
That. How do you think Dana White feels about his top star getting millions of eyes on Bellator MMA?
I don't think he's all about that, but I think that Conor doesn't care.
Did you see what I tweeted, what I said from the post-fight presser or the post-fight podcast?
I missed that.
I was like, here's how UFC will punish him. They'll say, "Oh, Conor was going to fight in 6 weeks on the December 30th show, but now we won't let him."
Yeah.
That's what they did.
That's what they'll do. Yeah.
That's what they did. Also, lot more news, like Bellator heavyweight tournament. That's bonkers. Lots of stuff in there. I do still release our news videos on occasion. There were a ton last week. Subscribe, like, leave us a thumbs up, share our stories, anything like that. Use those forums. Talk to us. I love hearing from you guys over there. I want your suggestions. I want your Survivor Series picks over at forum.fightful.com. And, of course, you can access them through Fightful. If you don't like MMA, you don't like pro wrestling, you can separate them. You can go to FightfulMMA.com, FightfulBoxing.com. They're both there for you. Alex, tell the people where they can follow you on the social media.
At Pawlowski the Fourth.
You can follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. You can follow us at Fightful Online. Subscribe. Join me tomorrow afternoon for the Holy Smokes MMA podcast. Join me Wednesday afternoon for the list and your boy. If you've ever thought to yourself, gee golly gosh darn, guys, I wonder what a podcast would be like with a successful businessman worth millions that the government knows about and the guy that he picked to run his wrestling and MMA website. That's the podcast for you. Hey, before I get off of here, did you follow any of the NWA, Tim Storm, Magnus stuff?
I honestly did not.
You're missing out, man.
I need to go back. I've seen that I've been missing out, and I need to go back and watch all that stuff.
That 10 Pounds of Gold series is real good because I trashed Tim Storm something heavy. Now, is it suspicious? Yeah. How he became NWA champion, little odd to me. 53-year-old man, little odd. But that series was very, very good. They made me care about this dude.
53 years old. That's a spring chicken when it comes to people who are in the Survivor Series elimination.
Braun Strowman's the youngest man in the tournament or in the main event is what someone tweeted me. Let me see who it was. Actually, there's just too much on my timeline right now. But yeah, somebody said that Braun was the youngest at 34. But guys,
34. Average age of Team Raw 41. Average age of Team SmackDown 40.
Woo!
Yep.
Guys, if I don't end this podcast, I'll be 40 by the time I get off of here. So until next time, we are out.